intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as always, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How we doing, Nano?
We're doing great, baby. Good to see you. It is a fantastic Wednesday, halfway through the week. And as you see, I'm repping the green, the red, the white. It's UFC Noche, baby. Let's go. Putting on for Mexico today. Come on, baby. Good to see you. Si se puede. UFC Noche. It's going to be a good noche tonight. Come on. Hey, we got the music. I just noticed that right now. Let's go. Y'all are in for a treat. Or should I say a fiesta? Aye.
Let's go, baby. We ready. We out here. Man, I am excited for this card from top to bottom. It is a stellar fight card. And as you said, we have the apropos music here for UFC Noche, aka UFC 306. So without further ado, folks, we are going to start right off with the early prelims. There's not many of them. There's only one. And it is the one, the only Raul Rosas Jr., aka, as we like to call him here on our show, Mr. Chiwiwis. Mr. Chiwiwis himself. I think we have it. There we go.
Woo!
Let's go. Get it started off, Nano. How do you feel about this fight? We got Raul Rosas Jr. coming in against Kilong Aori.
I love it, brother. I love it, man. This is a great one. Setting the freaking tone for the night here on the early prelims. I was shocked. I had to double check. I triple checked. I'm like, am I reading this wrong? Or, are they just accidentally putting Raul Rosas Jr., someone that can easily be on the main card and is probably eventually going to be headlining at some point on the early prelims? Say what? You crazy, man. No. Dana White is not fucking crazy, okay? He's real life. Yeah, this is a real thing. And I think he wanted to, like I said, set the tone, had some fireworks going. As he mentioned, we're here in UFC Noche. We're in the name looks different here if you look on Google. Riyadh season, Noche UFC. That is AKA the Sphere, ladies and gentlemen, in Las Vegas. So there's visuals. Dana White's looking to win an Emmy, a Grammy, Oscar, all the awards, I guess. He is really excited, really hyping this up. So not only am I excited for everything that's going to be going on around the UFC, I'm obviously going to be dialed in as soon as it starts. But that's something that we should be expecting. We're taking a trip through time. Raul Rosas, I guess he is a bit Neanderthalish. He's going to be representing caveman in early historic times, and we're going to end up in the future. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's kind of represents what a caveman might look like with the hair and the jawline and everything. But all jokes aside, he's an absolute beast. Still only 19 years old. He's been a household name since before he can even legally buy a pack of cigarettes, okay? He's been on the scene. He's been I would say the Chiwiwis thing, right? He's blowing up on Instagram and TikTok and saying that now everywhere he goes, that's what he's known by. And you love to see it, right? You love to see the kid get the notoriety, become a little bit more of a name. And frankly, I love saying it. So you hear me and my guys saying Chiwiwis quite often. In fact, I'm trying to think where we were. We were at an event or partying, or we're at the lake, or anywhere we are. When in doubt, you hear Chiwiwi's call. Follow the call. Follow the Chiwiwi.
I mean, we had that situation when we were at UFC International Fight Week. We
there we go.
quite a few times.
See, there we go.
Literally heard "gee wee wees," and I was like, "There he is."
Yep, I'm thinking that, probably the batch. Or somewhere else too. Where did we go recently? Yeah, I mean, it's just anywhere. It can be anywhere. You can be at the grocery store, okay? You're in the wrong aisle, I'm gonna come find you. But yeah, man, again, I'm gonna quit stalling. I'm excited to see Raul Rosas get back out there. He is going up against a tough opponent. Aoro Kilang.
Aori
Kilang. There we go. Because I've heard Anik in Florian's podcast. Go check them out as well. But the way he enunciated it was really unique. We would need the soundbite to get it correct, but fortunately we don't. But he's a savage, man. He's a tough opponent. He's someone that I think will give Raul Rosas some trouble. However, Vegas doesn't think so. Raul Rosas is a plus 1,000 favorite here. So you can expect him to do what he does, have us all saying chiwiwis by the end of the fight. But I do think stylistically, Aurikilang here, Aori Kilang, poses a lot of threats. He's going to want to keep it on his feet, obviously. I mean, we know what Raul Rosas does, but he leaves himself exposed a lot, right? He has some losses coming in here, even though he has a great name, the Mongolian Murderer. Had a loss, had a win against Johnny Munoz Jr., and then unfortunately had a no contest against a tough Daniel Marcos. I've heard of the expression, "Oh man, you poked me in the eye," but he poked him in the groin. He poked him downstairs in the downstairs eye, and it would end up being a no contest. Daniel Marcos said, "No mas. Got to protect the huevos." So that may be a problema for El Nino to hint the name Raul Rosas Jr., but I think he'll find a way to get it done. In terms of betting? Well, curious to hear your breakdown, my brother. From a betting perspective, are you going to throw those big odds into an anchor parlay? Do you think people should maybe look at a finish, or are you just staying away from it altogether? Setting the tone, baby. UFC Noche. What do you got?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably going to stay away from this one from a betting perspective. I mean, just looking at the odds on this one, like, is it worth it to bet Raul Rosas Jr. when he's sitting at, money line of minus 850? Not for me. He's 19 years old. I remember what I was like when I was 19 years old. And I'll tell you this, I was not the sharpest tool in the shed, even if I was the most used. 19-year-olds are rambunctious, and their decision-making process leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. So with that being said, I can't risk it for the biscuit when it comes to a minus 850 favorite in Raul Rosas Jr. Do I think he's going to win the fight? Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason he's got that tag next to his name, right? If you did want to bet on him, I don't know, maybe bet on him to win by submission. But honestly, on DraftKings Sportsbooks, those odds aren't even out yet. So who knows what kind of odds they're actually going to give us for that. And shout out Tico Tech LLC in the chat. What up, brother? Always happy to see you.
What it do? Good to have you, brother.
UFC Noche. Yeah, man. I got Raul Rosas Jr. here, but I'm walking away from it from a betting perspective. Moving into the next fight, we have Edgar Chairez versus Kevin Borjas. No, we don't. That one was canceled. We do, however, have Edgar Chairez coming in against Joshua Van. I think this actually might be a better fight. Might be an even more fun fight, a funner fight. We got Edgar Chairez coming in as the plus 195 point dog against a very, very game, very durable, very scary Joshua Van. Again, I think this is a tougher matchup for our guy here in Edgar Chairez. But I mean, he does have the home field advantage to an extent, right? And we do love to see that. So curious to hear your thoughts on this, or if you have a dog in this race. I think this is probably another one that I'll be staying away from, aside from my one kind of gimmicky parlay that I like to do from time to time for these bigger pay-per-views. And of course, that gimmick parlay this week is going to be the all-Mexican parlay.
Let's go.
Mexican
Si se
fight.
puede, baby. For UFC Noche. I like it. I like it.
Let's see.
You got to, brother. You got to, man. No, I love where your head's at there. I'm quickly pulling up DraftKings and pulling up my different screens, my different betting odds, because I'm seeing some inconsistencies in terms of the line. I feel like the UFC website must be off, because they have Edgar Chairez as the betting favorite here at minus 180. But then I see plus 190 on ESPN, which has their own betting odds and their own book. And then now I'm on DraftKings as well, and I'm seeing Edgar Chairez as plus 195. So he is the underdog, like you mentioned. UFC, get your odds right. Come on, man. I digress. But no, I'm curious to see this one. Now that I know. Yeah, epic fail, Dana. Come on, brother. Get your head in the game. Yeah, Joshua Van taking this on short notice. I don't know if I love it. He is coming off a really tough loss most recently. He looks great every time he's in there, right? The Fearless is obviously earning the name here. 22 years young. I guess, to be honest, maybe you look at it in the sense of, hey, he is still young. You want to get those reps in now as opposed to when you're on the other end of 30. It gets harder to go back-to-back training camps like this, or, again, taking it not even a full training camp. Let me rephrase. I mean, to take a short notice fight, obviously you got to stay ready, so you got to get ready. One of my favorite expressions, and that's what Joshua Van's representing here right now, and we'll be, fighting this upcoming Saturday. But knowing he took it on short notice, that's tough, right? He's a finisher. He's a tough striker. I'm curious to see what kind of shape he'll be in. Again, I'm sure he's staying ready. I'm sure he's getting better and sharpening his skills. But what I don't think is, the thing he's anticipating is my boy Puro Chicali, okay? Edgar Chairez, represent Mexico. The home soil here, I'm repping as well, and it'd be hard for me to bet against him. I do love Joshua Van, but I'm going to run with the narrative that the underdog, Edgar Chairez, is going to use his long skill set, his leg kicks, his ability to keep him at bay, throwing elbows, good in the clinch, and he has a good ground game as well. He has some submission victories to complement his 4 KO wins, 7 submission victories. So he's 11 for 5, ladies and gentlemen, overall record. That is a 100% finish rate. You pick him up, he'll knock him down. I do like what I'm seeing there, and now, mind you, only 3 of those have been in the UFC, 3 fights that is, but his debut was against a Taisura Taira, who beat him, but that's a young up-and-comer as well. So who knows? I could be wrong. Joshua Van could be equally as talented or in that similar vein, and we could be sitting here next week. I could be doing a shot, putting a foot in my mouth, but you see the colors I'm repping, y'all. And as much as I love Joshua Van, I think this will be a learning lesson for him Saturday, and I do think that Edgar Chairez, the underdog, is going to find a way to use his length, his versatility, and that toughness, man, that Mexican style we like to hear, or you might hear in the boxing world, in the MMA world. And that is, with all due respect, that is a compliment. If someone says you fight like a Mexican, that means that you fight with heart, you fight with power, you rip the body, you move the head, you do everything right. You're a warrior, is what they're saying, in other words. At least that's my definition, and I think you should have a similar one as well. Let's go, baby. UFC Noche.
Woo! Let's go, man. Getting me fired up over here, Nano. Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's actually some things to look at here. Again, going to do a quick shout out for nextmma.com. Really great site if you're looking for just overall stats and facts about these fighters. So one of the facts that I was able to pull from this site specifically is, again, Edgar Chairez, as you mentioned, has a 100% finish rate, which is stellar, right? Maybe bet the under here, folks, or bet Edgar Chairez within the distance. Especially considering that Joshua Van has a 100% loss by finish rate. So every time he's lost, it's been by finish. Every time his opponent has won, it's been by finish. I mean, the math is mathing here, folks. Like, I'm just going to say that Nano's right. I'm not going to dwell on this one for too long. I'm going to say Edgar Chairez, even though he's in Vegas, he will have what feels like home field advantage at UFC Noche, a card dedicated to the Mexican fighters of the world. And he is a Mexican fighter of the world. So why wouldn't he go out there and bang for his folks? And he's going against Joshua Van, again, who is a slugger himself, but is taking this fight on short notice and didn't have a full camp. And Edgar Chairez, with all due respect, is somebody that you do need a full camp for. The dude is a stud. The dude is very strong and is very capable of getting a finish at any point in time during this fight. So beware, be ready. I think it's going to go down very quickly. I think it's going to be a first or second round finish for our guy, Puro Chicali, Edgar Chairez. I do really like the fearless Joshua Van, but I digress. I just think our guy, Edgar Chairez, is just going to be a little bit too strong and too slick. I could see him getting a submission here as well. Joshua Van has shown some deficit, some holes in the grappling game from what I've seen. And I mean, Edgar Chairez will make him pay if he leaves an opening like that against him. So looking forward to this one. We can go ahead and move into the next one, which is a promising women's strawweight bout between Yasmin Jauregui coming in against Caitlin Souza. My goodness. I am actually really excited about this one. Again, very high, very, very high on Yasmin Jauregui. I think she's an absolute beast. This woman is a finisher. So is her opponent, Caitlin Souza. Both have over a 60% finish ratio, 63.6% finish rate for Jauregui and 64.3% finish rate for Caitlin Souza. Again, looking at these women's loss by finish rate, 100% on both sides. If these women lose fights, go out on their shield. This might be a smart time to put the money on a strawweight under here, folks. Nano, I'm not sure what you're thinking or if you have a bet on this one, but again, I think if there is money on this fight, it's got to be the under, right? Am I crazy?
You're not crazy, brother. I guess I would agree with it, but also add to it in that I would take the under, and I would also put some money on a Yasmin finish, maybe double odds, or I mean, heck, she's got 7 knockouts already. Not that I think she's going to completely go through Caitlin Souza, who is a tough opponent, but I'm going to stick with my girl Yasmin here for a quick second. Again, rocking the colors. So bear with me if you hear some biased statements. But again, I am going to be honest here. When you put on the tape, and it speaks for itself. I mean, 7 knockouts for any fighter out of 11 wins, that's impressive. And to do it in a local circuit of Mexico, we know what the talent's like out there. And I mean, I guess I'll speak for it in the sense that Mexico has come out with a lot of great fighters all throughout the UFC. Think of the Cain Velasquez. Think of Brandon Moreno, a longtime champion, decorated. Yadier Rodriguez, a phenomenal fighter, phenomenal striker. Alexa Grasso, who we'll be talking about later, right? Not to get too sidetracked, but all to say, when it comes to fighting, boxing, toughness, hard work ethic, that's what you're going to get from people coming from Mexico. And then on top of that, hey, what's one other thing that people are doing if they're not fighting in Mexico? They're probably playing soccer, okay? And what do you learn from soccer? Is great footwork. Ooh, excuse me, I had the LaCroix coming back here. Hey, great footwork. So why I acknowledge that is because you see it in the Yadier Rodriguez. You see it in their fighting style as well. They have good head movement, good boxing fundamentals, but then you couple that with good footwork, with good pedigree there, and frankly, vicious kicks, whether it's to the calf, to the thigh, to the ribs, or to your freaking chin. I say all that because Yasmin Jauregui, phenomenal striker. You're going to see her mix everything. She's got a deep, deep tool bag. I think she's going to display all of that. And one of my favorite things about her as well that stands out, maybe I guess in relativeness to the Mexican style fighter, she's constantly walking forward. I mean, it is like she is willing to eat some shots. I'm sure her defense or her strike absorption is probably maybe on the higher side. She is willing to take 1 or 2 shots, but that's because she's landing 5, 7, 9, and she's hurting you because she has those fundamentals, like I mentioned. MMAnomaly here in the comment section. Korean zombie-esque. You're absolutely right. Walking zombie. Just unconsciously moving forward regardless of what you're throwing at her. And it's tough. When you're fighting on your back foot, it's tiring. You're not able to really load up, get to the shots you want. And again, while she's picking you apart on that way to walking you down, makes for a fun fight. And again, she has 7 KOs to validate that, even though she is 3-1 in the UFC. Again, all to say, I think she's going to find a way to get it done here against a Caitlin Souza, who is tough. She's been in the UFC here for about a year. She's 1-1. So I guess even for that in itself, I still would like to see a little bit more. She does have a few finishes under her belt as well. 8 to be exact, with 14 wins. So, like you said, that under definitely appetizing when it comes to both of these women's ability to put their opponent's lights out. And they're going to be fired up. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be a spectacle. All to say, though, I'm leaning the Mexicana here. I'm going with my girl Yasmin. But I don't know, brother. Am being too biased now, or
No,
do you
I'm
see
with
that
you.
path as
I'm with
well?
you.
Here we
I see
go.
that
Here we
path.
go.
I mean, if at the end of the show we get some extra time and we open up the Underdogs app, I'm probably gonna put Yasmin by finish as one of my picks. Again, maybe a little bit biased on my end. The first time I saw this young lady fight, she was actually making her UFC debut, and I was sitting 6 rows away from the cage with Drew. She went out there and she beat Yasmin Lucindo, which again, stellar fight night card, UFC San Diego. It was Dominic Cruz versus Chito Vera. Phenomenal head kick. The sound in the stadium was deafening. But again, I digress. Yasmin Uruguay is just an absolute beast. Came out there in her debut, got the win over Yasmin Lucindo. Came from a very respectable promotion before the UFC in Combate Global. The only person that's beaten her in the UFC is Denise Gomes, who is an absolute fucking monster. And it was a 20-second knockout in round number 1. So again, can you please put the unders up, DraftKings Sportsbooks? We want to see if you're going to fuck up and give us some plus odds here to take you up on. Either way, moving into the next one, we have Manuel Torres, El Loco, coming in against Ignacio La Jolla Bahamondes. Manuel Torres fighting out of Interim Gym. Ignacio Bahamondes fighting out of Valley Flow Striking Academy, aka VFS Academy. Looking at their recent careers, I mean, the thing that stood out to me the most is losses, right? One of them hasn't had a loss since 2019. The other one has had 2 since 2021. The one that has had the losses since 2021, his losses have come to John Makdessi in UFC Fight Night, Vettori versus Holland. And that was a split decision loss. And then he also lost to Ludovic Klein, unanimous decision loss. He's in that same amount of time beaten Rongju, which we've seen is doable. Roosevelt Roberts is a very notable win, in my opinion. Roosevelt Roberts, of course, coming right off of that Ultimate Fighter showing. And then he beat Trey Ogden, who is an absolute monster of a fighter right now that's on quite a tear. So, I mean, really solid stuff. He also got to win a knockout in round 1 over Christos Jagos, which, again, very noteworthy stuff here. Meanwhile, across from him is a guy who's only had 3 UFC fights. But all 3 of those UFC fights have been first-round finishes over Frank the Crank Camacho, Nicholas Smoke Samota, and Chris Duncan Hines. Man, just truly great stuff from Manuel Torres, which is why we're sticking with the theme here. We're going to keep it up. That's right. We are going to stick with the Mexican fighters here, guys. And that's why my money's on Manuel Torres. Look, I'm not putting a ton of money on this one, but as I said before, I do have an all-Mexican fighter parlay. So ipso facto, guilty by association, Manuel Torres is on that little stack up there. So again, looking at how these guys fight, both very, very prolific finishers. Manuel Torres, 93.3% finishing clip with only 1 of his wins coming by way of decision. His opponent, a little bit more well-rounded, 4 decisions, 1 sub, 10 TKOs. Quick math for you, that's a 73.3% finishing clip. He's been finished 40% of the time in his losses, 3 decisions, 2 subs, and his opponent has been finished 100% of the times that he's lost, 2 subs. So with the fact that La Jolla only has 1 submission to his name, I don't think he's going to be super live for a submission here, but I do think that it's an opportunity for him to go out there and find a hole, if there is a hole, in Manuel Torres' game. But again, my money's on Manuel Torres. I think he's live for a finish here, likely in the first fucking minute and a half to 3 minutes of the fight. So, not sure what you're thinking on that one, Nano. I'm assuming you've got the Mexican fighter here as well, yeah?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And I think, honestly, this one feels a little bit more of a toss-up. This one is, hey, man, if it were any other night, and if I didn't look at where either of these fighters were from, I would be like, yo, it is legitimately a toss-up. These guys, and it is in the odd books as well. The odd makers are looking at it and saying, I don't know who the hell is going to win this one, right? Because I look at it and I'm like, okay, let me just try to validate and try to convince y'all why Manuel, a.k.a. El Loco Torres, is going to win this fight, right? At 29 years old, 15-2 record, 7 KOs, 7 subs, and just look at some of the finishes that he's had in the UFC, not just highlights in this underground fighting ring. No, I mean, his last submission win against a Chris Duncan, his KO, that elbow he landed on a Nicolas Mota, and then the TKO on a Frank Camacho. I mean, all of these, man, the timing, the distance management that he showed, the power. I mean, everything about the elbow. I mean, dude, like, he's vicious. They call him El Loco for a reason. And I think, like we just saw with the Steve Garcia, I do think when you are highly skilled and you have that, like, fifth gear, you have that just will to want to hurt someone, that violent nature about you. One, it gets me excited. I don't know if it's just being a Raider fan. I don't know if it's just kind of growing up with feeling like you have a little bit of that edge, a little bit of that Hulk kind of Tiger gets out the cage. I do like the idea and embodiment of it. But this guy, when it comes to fighting, like we saw last week, you see Garcia, this guy's the same way, man. I think in his head, he just sees nothing but red, like a raging bull. I think that's why I wanted to call him Toro there for a second. But yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing, but I'm not sleeping on Ignacio, the Chilean. I got a Chilean homie, Felipe. Quick shout out. He's a dog. He trains. Them boys are cut from a different cloth as well out there in Chile. So I have mad respect. I would not be surprised if both of them knock each other out somehow. I mean, that would be very surprising, but they're both going to leave it all out there. This is going to be a gladiator match. This could potentially steal the show. Maybe an early fight of the night. Maybe 50K to one or both of these fighters. Because this guy is very fun to watch as well. Stylistically, he goes out there and lets him fly. He's 6'3" in this division, which is absolutely nuts to think that he's 6'3", weighing 155, and he uses all of that length to his advantage. He being Ignacio. The leg knockout that he had against Cristiano Gregorio, or jeez, why am I messing up his name? Christos Giagos. Sorry, I had Euros today. I should have got that right. I apologize, Christos. I digress. Again, Ignacio's a stud. He has the skills. He has some very, very fun wow moments in the octagon. So I think that's why the odd makers are torn. They don't know. It's going to be whoever lands first, maybe at this point, right? Like, it's just, we don't know. I'm throwing my hands up for the visual listeners there, or audio listeners, because it's like, man, true toss up, but I'm leaning my boy Manuel Torres to get it done, probably by a knockout. In my opinion, if I had to pick one or the other, I would probably chase the under here. I do think someone's going to get finished, partially maybe because I'm rooting for it, but I think this card was set up for violence, and that's the way both these guys fight. I don't think it's going to be boring. I won't be mad if I see 50 minutes of this, but I think someone's going to finally not be able to weather the storm anymore, and not by their own accord. I'm sure the referee will have to stop and get in there, but those are my 2 cents, brother. Let's go, Manuel. Si se puede.
Si se puede indeed, my friend. Yeah, man. Sounds like we are. I mean, this is probably the most in unison we've ever been.
Literally, brother. I mean, it's been a while. We maybe here or there, or sometimes we start hot, but we are simpatico right now. And I feel like
we might start to derail on the next one though.
Oh,
maybe.
Maybe. I
we'll
mean, I feel like we. Well, okay, yeah. Let's see. Let's not speculate too long.
What up,
here.
Mike Arena? How you doing? Welcome
yo,
to the show.
What it do?
Chat. Always happy to see you.
Or should I say hola?
Hola, si se puede. Dude,
let us know what you think of the card. We're getting through the early prelims here, but
we're actually almost on the main. We're on the main prelim right now.
We are on the main prelim. We are home stretch. Let us know what you think. Any early fights, any takeaways, any emoji reactions for any of you listeners out there. We appreciate having you. And I see I see my colleague here, my co-host, pouring up a little something. I'm thirsty as well. All this talking making me parched.
A little bit parched in here.
Oh man. Oh, need to wet the old whistle.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Cheers, folks. If you are drinking tonight, we hope you're drinking with us. And if you're not, we hope you're staying hydrated and drinking water. Either way, drink in the beautiful skilled violence we have coming up on Saturday with UFC Noche. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Appreciate ya. Shout out, you listeners. And shout
Even
out.
had authentic Mexican food tonight.
Ooh, Taco
UFC
Bell.
Noche. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. Shout out Baja Blast.
I go
Dude.
for the Mexican food, but I go back for the Baja Blast.
Oh man, their cantina, line right now. Can't
Cantina
miss,
chicken
baby.
menu, so good.
Yeah.
I wish they'd keep the damn fries on the menu. I hate that they keep taking them away from you. It just feels like kind of a dick move from them.
Dangling the carrot a little bit. You know how they are. They keep you coming back for more. That's what it is.
Doing. That is what they're fucking doing, man. I don't like it one bit.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
It always breaks my heart when they do that. Same with Chick-fil-A. Whenever they take away that maple bacon sandwich they brought in, heartbreak.
Oh shoot, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's just heartbreak, man. So, with that being said, we have the next fight to talk about here, folks. We have Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. This is a great fight. This is a very skilled matchup. Nano, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one, man. I'm curious to see who you got.
My man, I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, this is a close one. You were speculating that we might divert paths here, but I don't know, man. I mean, I know. Again, I'm sticking with my theme. Sticking with the colors here. I'm bleeding green, red, and white this weekend. I typically do, but hey, in favor of UFC Noche, I'm going with the Mexican Mexicana again. También, Irene Aldana. I just think that, at this stage in her career, again, she's not as active as I would have liked. Would have liked her maybe see her fight maybe earlier this year. She had about 9 months off coming off that most recent win. And prior to that, she did lose to Amanda Nunes, went the 5 rounds with the greatest women fighter of all time. So I think she's learned a lot. I think she's really grown. Let's see what did Beccarina say? Hot take, I think Irene is the only Mexican that loses. And you put the crying eye emoji, the newest one. And I agree with you there. I think my heart is rooting for. I'm biased. I said it earlier. If you're just tuning in, I am saying this with some biases. I got the Mexico hat on. I got the jersey, authentic 1985. But I just, man, can't go against her. I think she has the skill set. I know Norma Dumont's going to be really, really tough. I think stylistically, she's going to come in here. She's hitting her prime at 33 years young. Meanwhile, Irene is 36, so that can be troublesome. Norma, 11-2 record. She's got a couple submission victories. She most recently beat, which is crazy to say, actually, a Germaine de Randamie. I mean, and again, maybe Germaine, she's 40. She's a little bit older. I'd say Irene is a little bit of a step down, but stylistically, I mean, similar strikers. Maybe not the best ground or jiu-jitsu artist, and I'm sure you'll probably break it down a little bit further here. And if I'm thinking my thoughts correctly, I'm assuming you're going Norma because she's maybe gonna just be a little more gritty. She's gonna take down Irene and control her and frustrate her on the feet. Are you leaning the immortal Norma Dumont there to get the win over our girl that you met at Secret Pizza that you shared secrets out with? Come on, man.
Nah, bro, I can't do that. I met Irene Aldana in line at 3 a.m. Last time we were in Vegas at Secret Pizza at the Cosmopolitan.
Secrets out, man. Secrets out.
It was her and the entire Diego Lopez fight team. They were literally chatting about the fight throughout the entire time, standing in line for like an hour. It was fantastic.
Good team. It's a talented team.
Solid team. Very talented.
They pick good fighters and they pick good pizza.
Absolutely, they do, man. Best pizza in Vegas. Shout out. If you're in Vegas, go to the Cosmopolitan. Go stand in that long ass line. It seems like an atrocious line to stand in for pizza, but it is worth it. It's super yummy. Secret Pizza. Now, with that being said, Norma Dumont is on quite a tear right now. I think she is definitely a very strong fighter. Both women fight in orthodox stance. One is more of a striker. One is more of a Sanda style fighter. As you pointed out very nicely, Germaine de Randamie is a huge win under the belt. Danielle Wolf, very pretty fighter, not the most skilled fighter in the world. Macy Chasson, very skilled fighter that she fought. Macy Chasson is long, she's strong, she's a very good boxer, and she was ultimately able to go out there and get a split decision win over Norma Dumont. I think this fight will probably go almost exactly the way that fight went. Looking historically at Irene Aldana, she has only lost to champions or former champions. Raquel Pennington, Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. Oh, and by the way, not one of them could fucking put her down. So, with all due respect, I love Norma Dumont. I'm actually a big fan of Norma Dumont. I'd buy a signed autograph poster from her, but I mean, here's the thing. I'm not going to bet on her on Saturday night. I simply think Irene Aldana is going to prove to give her problems, and she's going to be a big step up in competition. I disagree with the Germaine de Randamie statement that you made. I think that Irene Aldana is actually a more game fighter than Germaine de Randamie, especially at this point in GDR's career. She is older in her career. She has been in wars that takes it out of you. Whereas Irene Aldana, who, fun fact, 3 fights ago fought Macy Chiasson, the same one that got a split decision win over Norma Dumont, and she actually got a fucking round 3 knockout over her. So I think she's probably going to do the same thing or get a grindy decision win over Norma Dumont come Saturday night. I'm taking Irene Aldana. I mean, you just can't take me out of Mexico right now, brother. I'm locked the fuck in. Let's go Noche. Let's go Noche. So we're both on Irene?
Hell yeah, we are. Hell yeah, we are. But I am concerned for you listeners out there. We are biased. We are leaning. We are tilting heavy on the Mexican fighters. Again, not surprised if they all win. They typically do. Just being honest. But again, if Norma's gonna win, her path to victory is gonna be her clinching, her backing Irene up, or cutting off the cage, whatever it may be. But get her up against the cage, or cutting off angles. Get her back against the cage. Clinch with her. Use that strength. Use that dump truck that she drives, and pile drive her opponent into the ground. Had to slip that in there.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know if you watched the Anakin Florian podcast, but
not the full. I didn't watch the full app, but
Brian Petrie called her Big Norm, and
I did see that.
Absolutely lost his shit. He was literally crying.
Yeah, Big Norm.
Big Norm. And then, of course, John Anik's like, I really hope I don't have a fighter meeting with her.
Yeah, he's like,
I accidentally call her Big Norm. That's fucking hilarious. Bro.
Oh, dude, fantastic, fantastic.
It makes it even funnier that Brian Petrie's saying it for some reason.
Very unexpected too. Yeah, the delivery, everything
funny,
about it was like, okay, this guy.
Oh, he's so funny. So this next fight is a very exciting one. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez coming in against Jamaica's very own, the Jamaican sensation, Ode, 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 Ode. Talking about Ode Osborne, folks. 12-7-0 coming in against 16-2-0. Look, I mean, this is a tough one for Jamaican sensation fans because Lazy Boy is a beast. Ronaldo Rodriguez is not someone to fuck with, right? But Ode Osborne is someone that is constantly growing. He's fighting out of Syndicate MMA. Very, very solid and respectable gym. But I digress. Out of over 1,000 people that voted on Tepology, folks, I'm going to just break it to you clean. Only 9% of those people think Ode Osborne has a shot in hell in this fight. I might be crazy enough to think the same thing, but I'm not going to bet it outright. I'm not going to go crazy and bet on an Ode or just throw down on the money line here, simply because it's not really worth it at plus 120 when it is a very tough fight for him. However, the under 2.5 on this might be the way to go. Reason being, Ode Osborne, in 85.7% of his losses, of his 7 losses here, has lost by finish. So 4 times were by sub, 2 times were by TKO, 1 time by decision. And he is a pretty decent finisher. Both of these guys actually have a 75% clip when it comes to finish rates. 75% finish rate combined, 66.7% finish losing rate combined. I like those odds. So maybe go under 2.5 on this one. I like our Mexican guy, Ronaldo Rodriguez, to get it done. But I digress. I am lightweight pulling for the Jamaican sensation. I like the guy. And I've also now met him twice. He's a nice dude. But can't always bet on the nice guy or the guy that you like. Sometimes you got to bet on the guy that you think is going to get it done. And for me, I do think that that's probably going to be Ronaldo. I I do, however, think that the southpaw style of Ode Osborne could prove problems. Ronaldo Rodriguez, we've seen in previous fights, is very slick with the footwork, though. We've seen him fight in switch stances. But again, he's only also fought one time in the UFC. Ode's kind of fought a lot more times than that, right? He's fought a Tyson Nam and lost. Aso Amabayev was one of his losses. Rafael Fiallo was a loss. But he's also beat a Charles Enter Johnson G. Or sorry, Enter Johnson G. Enter G Johnson. Jeez Louise. He's also beaten CJ Vergara. He's also beaten Jerome Rivera. He's also fought the Manel Kops and Brian Kelleher's of the world. Like, he's fought a fucking who's who. That's why I'm more confident in the fact that maybe he shouldn't have those dog odds next to his name. What are you thinking, Donna? Who are you on this one? I know you're riding Mexico all day.
Of course, brother. Of course. I definitely am. It's a great call out and great breakdown, my man. Great breakdown. I think to your point, we've met Ode, so definitely biased a little bit there. What up, Drew?
What up, Drew?
See you in the chat. What's up, fellas? Appreciate you, man. What's up with you? Talk to us now, man. What you think of these fights? How crazy am I for, constantly picking these Mexican fighters? But no, I'm going to stick with my guy, Ronaldo Rodriguez, for a few reasons. I think, man, he may not have had a long stint in the UFC, right? He does have the one victory back in February. Really, really good choke. Looked really dominant. Looked impressive. Looked well-rounded. But prior to that, 5 wins in different leagues. Doing his thing. A lot of talent in the Mexico circuit. So I think it's impressive to see him getting finishes most of the time. His loss that he did get a chance back in the day, back in 2020. So let's think right around COVID time, right? It's a crazy time of just in general. So who knows how things would have been different for him. But 2020, he was 21 years old. This guy's 25 now, right? The lazy boy. Might have still been a little bit too much of a lazy boy at this time. Got a loss against Jerome Rivera. And, decision loss. It happens. These things. He's young. Maybe just a little too green around the gills. Wasn't able to get the contract. But he went and he earned some stripes. He's fought. He's been active. And I've seen a lot of good skills from him. I've seen a lot of good discipline when it comes to like his hand movement and his ability to move. Again, these Mexican fighters have the good boxing, so they have the good hand discipline. You're always going to see the hands up. You're always going to see the head moving. You're going to see them like, you may think they're going to get punched, but they are just right out of range. Or like we've talked about in the past, it may look like you're hitting me, but I'm moving so far off, like the leather's barely clipping the skin of my beard, right? Like it's levels, and it's a game of centimeters, and these Mexican style boxes, they get it done. They have mastered that art over time, over repetition. But he's going to display that as well. Manuel Torres is going to do it. This guy's going to do it also. You're going to see really, really fundamental striking. And I think the thing that takes him over the edge here in this fight against a tough Ode, is not only that Ode is unfortunately a little bit older. He's past the 7-year mark, age gap wise. Okay, Ronaldo's 25, Ode is 32. You know how I feel about that. Always the young gun. So regardless of where they were born on this planet Earth, I'm leaning the young buck for a few reasons, like I mentioned. And although Ode's going to have 8 inches of reach, 7.5 inches of reach, that's a lot. He can use that to his advantage. I just think that, again, Ronaldo is going to be a little bit too young. Well, I say young in the sense of too fast. He's going to be too slick for Ode at this stage, and he has that ground game that I just don't think we've seen from Ode over his career. The Jamaican sensation definitely has sensational moments in the octagon, but since that time that Ronaldo went out, got 4 or 5 wins, won in the UFC now as well over the last 4 years. In that same time frame, Ode has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5, 4 and 6. He's and 2 losses, back to back over the last year, so it's tough. I think unfortunately he's not trending the direction that you'd want to bet money in, even though it's a close pick 'em at this point. But I'm just leaning the young buck here, who maybe just hasn't shown a lot in the UFC. That's why maybe he's not a heavier favorite. But he's going to remind everyone that this guy's a dog. Let's see what Drew has to say here. I'm riding with the Mexicans. Let's go. Raul Rosas, Yasmin, Aldana, Rodriguez, Zell Huber, Champ, Alexa, and Still. Si se puede. Let's go, baby. I agree, man. I agree.
Si se puede.
I think we all got to put our money where our mouth is, responsibly. Whether it's $1, probably still get you good odds. Maybe a unit, maybe two, maybe a few. That'd be fun.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I put a half a unit on all the Mexicans on the card, and it's like god awful odds. It's like plus 5,000 or something crazy.
There we go. That's what we needed.
Yeah, we're happy with it. We're happy with it, folks. We are happy with it. And now's a good time to mention, even though we don't have any UFC Noche themed gear or Si se puede themed gear, I just want to say we do have some new gear in the shop. I just dropped the link in the comments section. You can also find that in the all my links area and also in the bio on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the YouTube, on basically every social media outlet. Here's some of the new things that we have. That bottom middle one is a sticker. You can see the new Tony Ferguson design there, blades and shades in white there on the bottom, inverted in black on the top. Of course, the white one has the same backdrop as the black one, and then the new simplistic MMAnomaly Show logo there. And then, of course, paying homage to the one and only Mirko Cro Cop with the sandals, right leg hospital, left leg cemetery. If you train in mixed martial arts and you show up to the gym in a pair of those, it will definitely get you a compliment or two from your coach or your peers. So make sure you check out those new items in the shop, folks. CSO shit only. Drew knows what the fuck's up. And yeah, I mean, obviously, if you read comic books and you're a Tony Ferguson fan, you got to have that shirt or at least the sticker. It's something I actually had an artist commission for me. The concept, all me. I drew inspiration, of course, from X-Men Days of Future Past, which is where that idea and that concept kind of came from. Again, here's a little bit of a bigger version of it for you guys to see. Even through the escaped on there for Khabib.
I love it.
You gotta love it. So yeah, make sure you check that out in the MMAnomaly shop, folks. And we continue on riding with the Mexicans. We got Daniel Zellhuber coming in against Esteban Ribavics. Oh man, another fun matchup here between the Golden Boy and El Gringo. It's funny that the guy whose nickname is El Gringo is fighting the guy from Mexico. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I feel like the matchmakers were having a bit too much fun whenever they did this, maybe, but I digress. 2-inch reach advantage for El Gringo, the striker heavy fighter going in against a more freestyle mixed martial artist, flow state fighter in Daniel Zellhuber. I like the Golden Boy in this one. Training out of Extreme Couture. I really like that gym. I think it's a really solid gym. Again, most of those people tend to grow every single fight we see them in that cage. Esteban Ribavic is fighting out of Killcliff FC. If you know Killcliff, good for you. If not, that's okay, because they've changed gym names like 4 times in the past 7 years. Never a good sign. And it's still the same coach. Still Henry Hooft. But I digress. We won't get into that rant for 20th time on the podcast here. So it's obvious who I'm going for here. Going for the Golden Boy, fight out of Extreme Couture. I just think he's the better fighter. Okay, I do. He's very, very good at fighting in switch stance. He's very good at fighting orthodox or southpaw. I think the body kicks are going to prove to be a real problem, as well as the leg kicks. He just seems very strong out there, which is probably why he has 7 fucking TKO finishes and 3 submission finishes. 66.7% finishing clip, 92.3% finishing clip for his opponent. Neither man has ever been finished, so the under might be a bit of a trap here. But again, I am probably just going to throw Zellhuber on my all Mexicans card. Other than that, yeah, that under 2.5 at plus 145 just feels like a bit of a trap that I'm going to try and avoid here. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Man, that was a great breakdown, my brother. I agree with everything you said. I think I'll stay away from the under. But I do like Golden Boy here. He's training with Coach Nick Sick. He's going to have an awesome game plan. He's getting better and better. He's starting to develop. He's starting to look stronger every time he gets in there as well. He's still only 25 years young. He's going to have 8 inches of reach on his opponent, El Gringo, who's 28 years old. Has a lot of finishes as well, right? Like you mentioned, 13-1 record. 7 KOs, 5 submissions. Whether it's in the UFC or not, I mean, he's 2-1 in the UFC. But that's phenomenal, right? Any way you cut it. And when you watch him, he's got a good little swag to him. He kind of fights with some moxie, moves around, looks very free-flowing. I like what I'm seeing from him. But it boils down to rhythm. You know, it's a dance in there. And I do think that Daniel Zellhuber will be leading the dance. I think he'll be quicker to find his mark. And frankly, I think he just has the sharper skills. They can do a lot of the similar things. But Daniel just does them a little bit cleaner. He's going to have the reach, so how is Esteban going to deal with that? How is he going to get inside without meanwhile avoiding the freaking missile strikes that are going to be coming his way, right? I think all that considered, I'm leaning my boy Daniel, the golden boy, to continue to represent for us Mexicanos and get it done. But I do think it'll be a decision. I think it'll be a tough fight for him. Obviously, Daniel has that loss to our boy Trey Ogden out there, repping out in Kansas City with our boy Garrett Armfield and the crew. But since then, he's been on an absolute heat streak. You know, he's looked really gosh darn good. 2 decisions, 1 submission, but I'm expecting another decision. And I think the thing is and he has to fight this way, especially as the competition gets tougher. You got to fight smart. He's going to be calculated. Again, he's going to have a great game plan. He's going to have Coach Nixick in the corner. As long as he listens, as long as he doesn't make mistakes, he may get emotional. I guess that's maybe the asterisk and why he's not a complete landslide of a favorite. He is sitting there at, I see -2. Excuse me, y'all. I want to make sure we looked at our official DraftKings. He is sitting pretty at a -230. Okay, so -235, -230. Solid favorite, but again, not a gimme. Not a gimme. He has to stay disciplined. He has to stay locked in for the full 15 minutes. Do not get sidetracked. Do not start thinking about the crowd. Do not start thinking about your friends or your family or how loud it is in there. Maybe different, right? He's probably from the Apex, maybe in some smaller arenas. This is going to be big. It's going to be loud. There's going to be visuals. That's maybe my only thing, right? No one, there's never a guarantee. But hey, as long as Daniel sticks to the game plan, I think the golden boy will stay golden. Opponent boy. 2 cents. Let's go.
Love it. Stay golden, pony boy. Love that. The Outsiders is like one of the all-time best classic movies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Started Royal Rumble and didn't fight me? Matthew Dillon, bro.
We're doing it for Johnny, man. We're doing it for Johnny.
Man. Let's do it for Johnny.
Let's do it for Johnny.
Dude,
doing it for Johnny.
Matthew Dillon is literally like, that's hands down his best performance.
Oh, that's a phenomenal performance.
And Something About Mary.
Oh, okay. That's probably his best performance.
It's crazy that that's the same dude.
He's got range, my brother.
He's got range.
Once we've seen him do, we're doing it for Johnny, man. We're doing it for Johnny. They're like, all right, get this guy.
We're also doing tequila over here, Drew. We got one poured up right now for you, brother, for this next fight.
And we're going to do it for Johnny, man.
We're going to do it for Johnny. Let's do it for Johnny.
Do it for Johnny.
We can do it for Johnny, man. Let's do it for Johnny, man.
Johnny was in the freaking hospital bed. Great movie. Saw that in 6th grade, I think. Yeah, 6th grade. Oh man, fantastic.
I think I probably saw it around the same age, like 5th or 6th grade.
I think it was Mrs. Potter's class. Forget. Someone correct me in the comments if you grew up in Tracy as well.
My dad is when I watched that movie. He's like, son, you gotta watch this movie. It's a great movie. I'm like, all right.
Cool. It was pretty sweet.
It's a great fucking movie.
Made you want to roll out with the boys, do hood rat shit.
Made you want to go get into a street fight.
That's exactly that. Exactly that.
Cheers to Johnny and to all the Johnnies in the world. All right. They don't have to be named Johnny, but fucking do it for Johnny.
If you can do it for somebody, do it for Johnny. Do it for Johnny. It's so fun to say.
Out here getting fucking Baja blasted, bro.
Righteous,
dude. So moving to the next fight, we have Brian T. City Ortega coming in against the one, the only Diego. Where are you? Lopez. Folks, this is going to be a fucking banger. It's a fight that we should have saw back when we were in Vegas, gosh darn it. But it fell off the day of the fight. We're reading reports saying that Dan 50K Ige is going to step up on short notice, on less than a day's notice, just a few hours notice, and fight this fucking guy. And we're like, this can't be real. This is fake news.com. There's no way this is real. But I digress. It was real. And 50K Ige is just a fucking stud, and decided to step up and just walk away from drinking beers and watching the fights, and fucking have a fight. He said, I'll bring the beers. And he went there and he fought. Great job. They got the 50K bonus, which apropos for a dude named 50K Ige, right? And he got bested by a good old Diego Lopez in great fashion there. Now, in this one, I got Diego Lopez. Look, the dude is just a better fighter. Brian Ortega has been finished 66.7% of the times that he's lost. Diego Lopez has been finished half as much time, literally 33.3%. Diego Lopez has won and finished 88% of his fights. Brian Ortega, 20% less than that at 68.8% of his fights. One guy goes out there to win fights. The other guy goes out there to ruin nights. Diego Lopez literally goes out there and looks for a finish from start to finish, which is a weird sentence to say. Looks for a way to finish the fight from the moment it starts. There you go. But again, Diego Lopez, young in his career, less injury ridden, better overall, in my opinion, more submissions, more knockouts, less decisions. Like, I mean, the only knock you could possibly say is that he has twice as many losses to his name, but he also has fucking almost 10 more wins to his name. So give me Diego Lopez here. The guy's been on an absolute tear. He's 4-1 in his last 5 since making it to the UFC and fighting Movsar Evloev, fucking someone nobody wanted to fight on short notice. Meanwhile, his opponent is 2-3 in his last 5, and the 2 people that he's beaten were Chan Sung Jung, who was on a major downhill decline at the time, and Yair Rodriguez, who he had just lost to. So, and he was losing the fight too until he got the submission. So, call me crazy. I think this is probably the biggest fucking money lock of the night. Give me Diego motherflubbin' Lopez in this one, man. Who you got, Nano? And tell me why it's Diego Lopez.
I think it's Diego because, like you said, brother, he's trending in the right direction. He's doing all the things correctly. And if we're being honest, like, I mean, we just got done playing fantasy football, but it's like you go line item by line item, like stat for stat. Every type of scenario that I think we're gonna potentially come across here, I just find Diego Lopez probably being on the better side of it. When it comes to the striking game, he's a little unorthodox. He's not necessarily a fluent boxer, even though he's from Brazil. He moved to Mexico when he was 18 or 19. He is now considers himself part of the people, which I'm all for it. I accept him with open arms, with arms wide open, as Creed would say. Wide open, with arms wide open. Oh no, that's all right. But welcome to Diego's day. Okay. I was trying to think of some more lyrics. Sorry.
UFC Noche, we've only got 10 fights with arms wide open.
Open. But yeah, brother, that's what I'm expecting.
Under the sphere light.
Welcome to the dome. I'll show
We're
you.
gonna watch some fights with arms wide open.
Where's Bruce Buffer? 'Cause it's time to get off the stinging train here. Anyways, people came here for the MMA breakdown. They did not come for our duets. But yeah, brother, I just think he's doing everything right, like you said. They were going to fight. Honestly, Brian didn't look great going into it. Obviously, there was an injury there. And, hey, hopefully he's feeling better now. Hopefully things are all over again. Hopefully we're going to see the best T-City. Because, man, up until 2018, he was a prodigy. He was someone that a lot of people were maybe thinking, not just because he looks like Jesus Christ, but because he was just this up-and-coming Mexican prospect, obviously Mexican-American, has all the makings to be a legit contender, potential champion. Ran into a Max Holloway, really humbled him, taught him how to box mid-fight, which is legendary. Volkanovski almost had Volk. I will admit that was one of the closest blemishes in Volk's early career at 2021. Obviously, a lot can change in UFC years. It's like dog years, very long. And then the shoulder injury to Yair Rodriguez, but he wiped that one, right? So I guess nullified it by coming back and beating Yair, which we talked about here on this podcast some odd time ago. You can go back and review it. We got the receipts. I thought Yair was going to win. I thought that Yair was going to pose too many threats on the feet, and I thought that Ortega was not going to have an answer for it. I thought he was going to get hurt. He'd get cut. He'd get straight knocked out, even though he hasn't really been knocked out before. He's been hurt, but never KO'd, never been finished. So I'm not expecting that to happen. I don't expect I don't expect Diego Lopez to go out there and choke a brother out either. This guy is nasty with it. That guy being T-City. They call him T-City because he's Triangle City. He'll take you there, and it's a one-way road. One way in, you ain't coming out, okay? The mayor of Tier City is taking you downtown to the jail cell, okay? So that is honestly where I think it's going to be truly competitive. It's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be a fun 15 minutes. I almost wish it was 25 just because I think both these guys are so gosh darn durable. I'd love to see them stretch themselves and show us as fans how deep they can dig. But knowing it's 15 minutes, I think Diego's just going to have such a crazy pace, and he's going to go out there and march T-City down. T-City's going to throw up some attempts. You know, if we're talking underdog, which we appreciate the app, shout out, go check them out. I would take the over on submission attempts. Maybe it's 2, 3. I think there might be one around. I think T-City's going to go for that pretty often, especially because I think Diego's going to try to take him down. He's going to use a well-versed mixed martial arts game plan in there. And so all that to say, we're on the same page again here. Simpatico. Lena, the Mexican Brazilian, the one that's repping Mexico, that trains out there, that's working with Alexa Grasso, that said he's going to want to try to fight and then go back out and be in her corner or be back out to watch it. Dude's for the team. He's for the people. Absolute nice guy, too. And the last thing I want to say about my boy T-City, Brian Ortega. Love him. He's a great fighter. He's had some great moments. But even if you watch the embeddeds, he's so focused on Fortnite. I truly think, like MMAnomaly said here in the chat, Fortnite victory royale over making weight, over training. I think if he was getting paid 75% of what he's getting paid in the UFC to just Fortnite, he'd probably do that. I just don't think that his head and body and heart are where Diego Lopez's is at this point. So I'm going to leave it there.
Not at all. Not at all. I agree with you. 100%. I mean, in the embedded, like his girl's literally saying like the most important thing to him whenever we're traveling is to bring his PS5. But you're traveling and you're bringing your PS5?
You're 33. Bro. Come on,
like,
man.
How long are you going to be out of town?
You're a pro. Yeah,
it's like I love my Xbox. I have a PS5 as well. But like,
of course,
I'm not bringing either one of them with me.
Yeah, and we do see fighters doing it sometimes. Maybe they have the UFC or something. But
playing Fortnite right now.
Hey, let's go.
I'll see you later for the victory royale, brother.
There you go. I got to get back on. But yeah, I mean, again, all to say, like, that's not promising signs, you know. And
I mean, you have a professional fight on Saturday, and you're focusing on Fortnite.
Come on, don't be crazy.
Don't be crazy, man. And his one fight against Yair, I mean, his last fight, that injury was back in 2022. You know, fighting once a year, fighting every 18 months. I don't love that. You know, I don't love that for Brian. And again, you got a Diego who's active. He's been getting better and better. Like there's something to that as well.
Outlanded him 2-1 on significant strikes in that fight, and outlanded him by 20 total strikes. Also got a knockdown. I mean, like Yair was winning that fight until he lost the fucking fight.
Until he wasn't, yeah. So it's like, I don't think Diego will fall into that same trap. And if he does, I like his odds down there too.
Strong, bro. Yeah. You see that jawline? You'd be hard pressed to break that.
Yeah, he's chiseled out of granite, bro. His abs, everything. You just look at him, you're like, yeah, this guy looks fucking viciously strong.
Fucking ready to go, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking ready. Now, moving into the co-main event of the evening, we have a women's flyweight bout, folks. It is a rematch of sorts. We have Alexa Grasso coming in against Valentina Shevchenko for the trilogy. The last one, of course, ended in a draw. Some people think that it was a bit of a robbery. I'm not necessarily in that boat. I thought it was a fairly closely contested bout there. Let's be honest, folks. And the first one was a submission win. No arguing that. Nano, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. Tell us who you have winning and why. And also, are you betting anything on this one, brother?
Oh, got to make sure I unmute. Thank you, brother. Man, this is another fun one. A co-main event of the evening. Alexa Grasso defending her title that she stole from the queen of the division, the original champion, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. Again, it for a long time, as far back as I can remember, it was the Valentina Shevchenko show, right? We were talking about her going on to go double champ status. Is she going to be fighting Amanda Nunes soon? We're talking legacy. We're talking she's in the greats of the greats, pound for pound. Then Alexa Grasso, cute little Alexa, no makeup, long hair, smile, dimples, very unassuming. She comes out there and she does what nobody thought she was gonna do. She goes out and beats the champion in crazy fashion. Submission win, face crank. Wow, right? Shocks the world. Comes back, later that year. So March 2023, she becomes champion. September that same year, run it back. And this is where a little bit of controversy, as my co-host MMAnomaly mentioned. He felt like Shevchenko won. Maybe I was watching the fight with rose-colored glasses. I felt like our girl Alexa Grasso won. Let me know in the chat what y'all think.
Oh, but no, I thought Grasso won. It was other people that thought the other way. Okay. Thank you for correcting me, good sir. Because again, I mean, everyone was split, right? It was very close. I was leaning my girl Alexa Grasso. I thought she did enough when it came to the striking, when it came to those significant strikes and just putting together the best 25 minutes. I thought Alexa did that. And again, she was already the champion. I do think a part of it, if it's to use a baseball term, tie goes to the runner. You got to go out there and beat the champion. If it is nail thin and if it is so close, it's a split decision. You didn't definitively go out and beat the champ. I'm going to give it to the champ and still, which is probably why they're running it back. The trilogies, you don't see that too often, right? This is something that we should always appreciate. This is now putting not just a stamp on these two fighters, right? The two fights are already legendary. They both were for the belt, but now we're putting it in a whole new class, right? The trilogies, the McGregor Poiriers, the Moreno Figueiredos. I mean, I would say the list goes on, but it's a very short list, ladies and gentlemen. This does not happen that often, so. Let's go. What am I looking at? Oh, is he muted? When are we going to talk about my fight? I'm here to beat this Marab guy. Look, I'm going to be honest, though. I think Umnar deserves the title shot even before Marab. Look, I'm ready. I've been doing a lot of grappling. I had a lot of midgets come into my camp and shoot takedown attempts on me, and I defended them all while smoking a joint, obviously. But yeah, what were we talking about? Were we talking about Shevchenko? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about your Mexican sister over there, Alexa Grasso. How she's gonna beat and remain and still beat the legendary Valentina Shevchenko, the ballerina. But I think she's gonna do what you like to do best, Sugar Sean, aka Champ O'Malley. I think she's gonna go out there and she's gonna put some leather onto Shevchenko's face, right? She's gonna go out, she's gonna dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Okay. So I'm excited for it, but I think it's enough about that, right? I think we all know we're leaning the Mexican fighters. You see me rocking your country's gear here. I was even considering getting the same haircut as you, Mr. Champion O'Malley. But talk to me, man. What are you thinking? Hopefully you give me a little bit more time than you give Triple C there. I saw what you did to him. I appreciated it. It was funny. But talk to me, man. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, with Triple C, I decided just to give him the same allotted time in seconds as his height in centimeters, so I gave him just about 6.
Ooh.
Yeah, Henry Cejudo is just not on my list. He's not on my level. And neither is Mirab. But again, like, I had a lot of midgets come into the camp, had them shoot takedown attempts on me. They all failed because, I'm the best there is at what I do. And what I do is I actively fight. I'm a fighter. It's the Sugar Show. It's the Sugar era. I'm here to lead it. I'm here to stay. And I'm here to remain active in what I do. On Saturday night, it's going to be no different, folks. I'm going to go out there and look, I mean, Merab's going to be no different than a joint. I'm going to spark him and I'm going to smoke him. And after I'm done with him, I'll feel unsatisfied and like I'm ready to do it all over again very soon. So I hope Dana's got a nice card lined up for me and a nice headlining event for me at MSG at the end of the year, because that's where we're going with this. It's the Sugar Show.
Absolutely, man. I'm sure he'll bring out the PJ. I'm sure he'll roll out the red carpet for you, my brother. That's what you deserve, right? You're the cash cow of the company. You are single-handedly keeping the lights on for Dana, right? I mean, you're the reason why he can... I mean, you're the reason for these fucking Fridays. I hope to see you on there. I wouldn't be surprised. But hey, man, I mean, what are you more excited about it? And your coach as well. I know there's a lot of heat behind this. Coach Welch talking his mess as well. Is he going to try to fight Merab after also, or are we just going to wipe our hands with this beef and keep it moving forward? Potentially crossover and maybe fight Canelo. Are you going to go in the MGM? Are you going to try and fight Canelo next? What are we doing, man?
Look, I might fight Canelo on the same night, if I'm being honest. Like, Merab doesn't stand a chance. Neither does Canelo. I mean, I'd smoke that guy. In boxing, God forbid he come to MMA, man. Yeah, I mean, this again, like this is the Sugar Show, but at the same time, it can be the Red Hawk Show if it needs to be. He's been talking a lot of mess about my coach Tim Welch. Shout out the Red Hawk. But look, I mean, like when it comes to Saturday night, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to knock his lights out. If he wants to fight my coach, he would literally die. So like if he wants to die, he can fight my coach. I just don't think it's the best plan for him. I don't think it's the best course of action for him. Yeah, I mean, Merab seems like a good dude. I just want him to lose a fight. I don't want him to lose his life.
Fair enough.
I'm not really sure what your thoughts are on that.
Fair enough. I could agree with that, brother. I could appreciate your gracefulness and your humble.
I'm a nice champ. I don't want to hurt anybody outside of what gets me paid.
Fair enough, baby. That's it, man. We just gotta, feed the chickens, right? Keep them healthy, and I'd be remiss not to ask this, right? I mean, I wasn't expecting your appearance here on the show, but this is a co-host show. My fellow brethren, MMAnomaly, I'm sure would want to ask something along the lines to know a little bit about the game plan. Let's talk a little bit of MMA. Let's talk a little bit of fundamentals. We want to know the obvious question, right? The elefante in the room. Is Merab's going to try and take you down, right? That's what this guy does. He sniffs crotches, as Masvidal kindly phrased it. Should we expect a photo finish? Should we expect a Sugar Sean stamp, knee to the face, an uppercut to the face? Or are you going to remind all of us that you are a black belt jiu-jitsu specialist? Are we going to see? Well, if you had to flip a coin, I mean, should we expect anything one way or the other? Or are you going to leave? No spoiler alerts here. Are you going to wait till Saturday for us to tune in? What do you got?
Well, look, I'm just going to break it down real simple for you, Nano. And I think your co-host would probably say something similar here, right? I know he's big on analogies, so I'll play his game here, right? Look, he calls himself the Machine, Merab. I call myself Sugar. What happens when you pour a little bit of sugar in a machine? And I mean, I'm not talking about any machine. Let's say that he's one of the best machines in the world. Let's say that he's a 350 CID, 300 horsepower V8 sitting in the base of a 1969 Stingray Corvette. It doesn't matter how sexy that car is. It doesn't matter how efficient that machine is. You pour a little bit of sugar in the gas tank. What happens? The machine breaks down. I'm going to pour some sugar in the gas tank. I'm going to pour some sugar in the machine, and I'm going to break them down on Saturday night. That's what's going to happen. I mean, I don't like to say, like, I'm not Conor McGregor, right? Like, he's a good talker. I'm a good fighter. He would be the type to say, like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to submit him inside of 3 rounds. That's just not my style, right? So, like, I think I'm going to go out there and I am going to finish him. Will it be a submission? Will it be a knockout? I don't know. If he attempts like 25 takedowns on me like he's done in the past, yeah, it's probably going to be a submission. He's going to give me that neck. But And if we stay on the feet and he doesn't attempt 25 takedowns, he's going to give me that head, and I'm gonna click it. So I'll be hitting that sugar all day. And like I said, you pour some sugar in the machine breaks down. What up, Amanda?
I was just thinking that in my head too. Pour some sugar on me. Gonna down. I like it, man. I like where your head's at. I mean, this is WWE-esque, okay? I mean, this people got to pay for this type of promo cut. I mean, we appreciate your time here, brother. I don't know if you have any last sentiments, if there's anything else you want to tell your fans, the viewers listening worldwide. This is a global platform that you're on here. The stage is yours, Sugar. What do we got, baby?
I mean, just make sure you buy the pay-per-view on Saturday night. I'm gonna put on a show for all you guys and gals. I'm gonna go out there and land everything I want to land. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do to Merab because I'm just a better fighter. And it's the Sugar Show. Just make sure you tune in. You don't need to pay attention to that Canelo fight because the only Canelo fight you'll need to watch is the one where I spark him next. Tune in on Saturday, folks. UFC Noche at the Sphere. We got something real big planned for you guys.
Let's go. There you have it, folks. You heard it from the champ himself. He's going to go get the hair braided. Sugar, Sean O'Malley, the champ, man. Let's go. Let's go. I can't believe it. He's got a great marketing team. He's got great facilities. And he must have a great tech team as well. I don't know how he hijacked the stream, but we'll take it. His time is precious. Time is money. So we are very, very glad. It's unfortunate he had to, take over my host's MMAnomaly's, time slot there, but I'm sure he won't mind. But man, again, I mean, just to give the champ his flowers here. He's so graceful with his time, but he's graceful with his punches. He's graceful with his acumen in the octagon. He's cerebral. I mean, he goes in, he has the game plan, he has all the skills. He's someone that, again, you look at him, may not look like a world beater. He's not the biggest guy on the block. He's an athlete. He approaches things from that competitive mindset. But he realized at an early age, hey, football, baseball, these sports aren't for me. I need to do something a little bit more focused on myself. I need to be the star of the show. And boxing and fighting translated perfectly into that. And speaking of which, hey, there's MMAnomaly. What's up, baby? How we doing, man? We are back.
We are live. Not sure what happened there. Computer went out for a little bit, but we're back, man. We're here.
Yeah, well, glad to have you, brother. I mean, no big deal. Just us sitting here, and some people might have thought it was Bozo the Clown, but no, it was Sugar Sean O'Malley. The champ was here. We were chopping it up a little bit. You'll have to run it back later. Hey, man,
check out the replay.
You have to check it out, man. He cut a great promo. He let us know, man. It's the Sugar Show and still, okay?
Let's go.
Yeah, man. Try to get the game plan out of him. Try to see, are we going to see the choke? Should we go the double odd, finish here? What are we thinking? He said, hey, never tip your hand, playa. I said, okay, fair enough. You right.
Fair enough.
But
a magician never reveals his tricks,
That's right.
That's what they
So it's a little taste, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to stay tuned in on Saturday, UFC Noche. This has been a great Noche, but Saturday's going to be even better, brother. I just think he's going to go out. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and it's funny. All week you're seeing the hypes, the promos, and what Merab's going to want to go out there and do. And it's funny. You keep seeing the clips. I don't know if you see him online, but you see Merab getting clipped. You see him getting choked out. Granted, these are from a long, long time ago. Maybe we got to take that with a grain of salt, but hey, it's happened before. And that, even if you're Sugar and team, I mean, we never seen Aljo in those positions, but yet here we are, and you see it over and over again. It's now part of Sugar's phenomenal highlight reel of a career. And I think we're going to see another one, man. I do. I think because, and what I'm trying to get my thoughts together, but just because of the size and the distance that Merab's gonna have to try to cover, I guess that's why I asked Sean. I asked him, I'm like, hey man, are we gonna expect a Jorge Masvidal-esque knee or a teep kick to the face, or if he does get in, are we gonna end up choking him out? It all depends on the situation. Both of those can happen potentially in the same sequence. He may knee him, drop him, or Merab's a machine, like the name says. He may stay hang on to that leg, get him down or get him up against the fence, but you might see some of those punches, the 3 to 9 elbow kind of, angle there, into the gilly, right? I mean, don't be silly. It can happen. But those are my 2 cents, brother. Curious to hear your thoughts. If there's anything you want to break down in terms of the styles here, or if you think the Merab, the Mauler, the Machine, if you think he is going to be able to successfully take down the champ consistently, and will that be enough, right? I mean, we've seen in the Peter Yan fight against a Sugar Sean, you may be able to score 1 or 2 takedowns, but are you doing it early in the round? How much control time is it? Is that going to be the X factor? Or does Merab get hurt? Does Sugar hurt him, right? I mean, a lot of questions. That's why I'm going to be tuned in Saturday. I'm leaning Sugar. I think he'll end up getting it by a decision or maybe a late finish. I think Merab, I can see him it could be an accumulation of damage, right? They're staying at bay. He may even be winning early on, but Sugar's going to stay locked in, and all it takes is one shot. I think Sugar will eventually find it within the 25 minutes. If not, I think it'll be a decision, and he'll score a knockdown, but potentially can put him out too. What do you think, brother? What's your verdict?
I mean, I definitely agree with everything you're saying, man. First and foremost, great breakdown on your end, brother. Thanks for holding down the fort while I was blacked out over here. Again, not sure what was going on my end. But again, what do I think is going to happen in this fight? Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I think it's striker versus striker. Let's be completely honest. Like, Merab Dvalishvili is a wrestler by nature, but he's actually a decent striker too, and he does like to play around on the feet. I think this might be a case of instantaneous fuck around and find out, as it's called. Now, the reason being, I don't think he wants to do that on the feet, and I don't think he's going to have a great time trying to take down a Sugar Sean O'Malley. Because here's the thing, brother. Merab Dvalishvili, love him to death. And I've gone back and forth up until yesterday on this fight on who I thought would win. And the more I think about it, the more I'm just really leaning towards Sugar Sean O'Malley here. Again, reason being, Merab Dvalishvili shot 16 takedowns against Jose Aldo. Do you know how many he landed? Goose egg. 0. Not one fucking takedown. And that was in 2022. That was just 2 years ago. Not that long ago. Do you know how many takedown attempts he shot against Peter Yan? Don't look it up. If you don't know, it's fine. I'll tell you, buddy. 49. He shot 49 takedown attempts in one fight. Do you know how many he landed? 11. 11 of 49. If I shoot 49 times against somebody like Sugar Sean that is slick as fuck, yeah, he's probably going to blow that fucking plan apart. He's going to slip a gilly. He's going to end up like he's either going to eat a knee or eat an uppercut coming in for one of those takedowns. And the thing is, when he stands against people that are significant strikers or decent strikers with like semi-decent power, looking at you, Marlon Moraes, aka One Punch, that guy went out there and landed a handful of jabs. If I remember their sequence completely correctly, I think they were standing at range. Merab swung, missed, ate a jab, dropped him almost, took a step back. Moraes misses with another jab, misses with a cross, throws another jab, lands, hurts him again, and then comes in, circles with a looping lead hook, and drops him on his ass, and then continued to batter him up. Look, I mean, there are certain refs that probably would have stopped that fight during that barrage, and then Moraes wouldn't have retired. We would have had a very different trajectory for Merab and Moraes. All that to say that if Moraes was able to do that, Marlon Moraes, I'm kind of worried for what Sugar Sean is going to be able to do, right? Again, Casey Kinney, not the best grappler in the world by any means. Merab shot 24 takedowns on him, only got half of those landed, 12 of 24. He's not going to land at that kind of range on a fucking Sugar Sean O'Malley. It's just not going to happen. John Dodson, he shot 20 takedown attempts on John Dodson. Do you know how much John Dodson doesn't love grappling? He's a bare knuckle boxer now, bro. And out of 20 takedown attempts, he only got 2 on John. Like, he is a machine because of his cardio. Make no mistake, he's weaponized his cardio. In the fight where he got dropped numerous times by Marlon Moraes, which they only counted one of them as a knockdown, he did land 4 of 4 takedowns. So the guy that dropped him, he was able to get 4 takedowns on, still got dropped multiple times, in my opinion. Sean is not going to let him get easy picks. Not going to give him those easy takedowns. Like, he's just not going to give, if we're talking football, like, he's just not going to give up the ball easily, right? Like, you're going to have to pry it out of his fucking dead fingers. So it's just not going to happen. I think if Merab shoots 40 takedowns, he maybe gets 5 to 10. And if that's the case, probably gets subbed, which is plus 1,800 right now, folks.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Sugar, and you know, the accuracy part is a really good thing to remind y'all to think about, and just something that, yeah, it's like stylistically, like it's gonna boil down. You know, styles make fights, and it boils down to those situations. And Sugar has displayed, did it against Aljo. Aljo's 0 for 2 with his takedown attempts. It's not like he didn't get a chance to grab Sugar. He had opportunities, but Sugar escaped. Merab the same way, and Aljo's a little bit more calculated. Like, he probably timed the entrance perfectly, maybe had a deep one leg, whatever, but Sugar was just able to get out of it, or down real quick, but right back up. With Merab, like we've seen, and even last week, or yeah, last Saturday, you see someone try to jump from across the ring, it's just way too obvious. You're going to get pieced up. Sugar's a sniper, or you're wasting energy, or you're just frankly unsuccessful. Like, more often than not, Merab's not successful. So I'm not worried about Merab the same way I am with like a Khabib, where it's like, oh, if he gets a hold of you, like, you're done. It's like an anaconda. It's like, no, I don't. It's not. That's not Merab's style of wrestling. He beats you by thin little paper cuts, 1,000 of them, right? I mean, over 15 minutes, over 25 minutes, the constant pressure, or the potential 49 times you have to tell this guy swipe or no swiping, like, that does get tiring, right? On top of getting punched and everything else, this guy is absolutely relentless. That is his superpower, right? That is his saving grace. That's probably his silver bullet as well, is just maybe he can do the best he can in terms of the timing and get to those accurate takedowns, and or just do it early and often to where Sugar does tire out. I mean, we've never seen Sugar in those types of waters before. And you know, and he's slick with them, and Sugar's funny. He may try to play that game with him as well. Like, he may, you know, egotistically may be like, oh, let me try to take you down. You got me down. You know, you've heard him talk about things like that before, even with the Peter Yan. But yeah, I mean, at this stage though, I think Sugar's just too much. But it can happen, brother, right? Like, I mean, Merab, and it'd be boring. I'd hate to see it. I mean, it'd be a little frustrating, because it's going to be this boring. Not boring, I shouldn't say, but just one-dimensional way if Merab is going to end up
Mexican Merab, getting it done for the people of Mexico.
Watch him knock out Sugar, all unexpected. But no, I think if anything's far-fetched that I actually would consider, it'd be the Sugar submission versus Merab, yeah, putting him out. But it's going to be a fun one, man. I can't wait. Let us know what y'all think. You know, are we crazy betting Sugar? I think he is the underdog here, so we like our underdog bets as well this week. Pull up the DraftKings.
We do like our underdog bets here. On DraftKings currently, he's sitting at
minus 130. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, shit. I think, didn't Merab start off as the favorite maybe way back when they announced it?
When they first announced it, yeah. And then it has shifted.
But it shifted, huh? Interesting.
Tough to get Sean at dog odds these days, man. I don't think we'll ever get him at dog odds again.
After Aljo. Yeah, I don't think that was, you know. Maybe against Umar, actually.
Maybe. Umnar, as he calls him.
Umanar.
Umanari. He literally sounds like he's like saying a Lord of the Rings name. The Umanari.
He's silly.
The Umanari.
Yeah, he's a silly guy.
He is a silly guy. He's a funny, silly guy. So I do have some bets to go through this week. Before we do that, should we do one more?
It's time. To stay this long, give the people what they want. Appreciate y'all for sticking around.
I promise you, what's in this cup is not. You know what I'm saying? It's something a little stronger. Usually I'm a whiskey guy, but this week we're drinking tequila because it's UFC Noche. So cheers to you. You could be anywhere on this Wednesday night, but you chose to be right here with us. And gosh darn it, we really appreciate you for it. So thanks for sticking it in this long. If you drink, do a shot with us. If you don't, have a sip of water, huh? Stay hydrated. We appreciate you.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Or should we say salud for the Spanish community?
Salud, baby. So without further ado, here are my bets. Let me kill this banner at the bottom. Oop, there we go. So let's talk you through this. We got the UFC Riyadh season Noche bets. So we got a 3-way parlay. As they say, it's okay if it's in a 3-way. So we got Sean O'Malley money line. We got Alexa Grasso money line, and we got Diego Lopez. Where are you? Money line. Hopefully, I'm not saying that about my money on Saturday. That's plus 379 odds, putting a half unit on it to win 2.39 units. Going right on into the next parlay. That's right, folks. You can see it right there with your own eyes. It's a bit of a dog parlay, in my opinion. Right? Look, I mean, I didn't update that. Whoops! It's supposed to say plus 110 on that one right there, and then of course Valentina Shevchenko is plus 114. Odds have obviously changed here, or I did not do correct on that. That's my bad. Anyways, I digress. We got plus 349 for the compared odds, or for the combined odds for this 2-way parlay. Half a unit to win 2.24. Just so that way we cover our spread a little bit there, if it goes the other way. Now, these are the ones I'm really excited about. We got some singles, folks. We got Sean O'Malley, 1 whole unit to win 19 units. That's right, folks. Talking Sean O'Malley by submission. Don't be silly. Jump that gilly when our guy, the machine, is jumping in on that double leg. So, other than that, we got Sean O'Malley to win inside the distance, a.k.a. via finish. Basically, if this fight ends any way, shape, or form before the 25-minute mark and Sean gets his hand raised, half a unit turns into 1.2 units. You love to see it, folks. If he wins by submission, essentially, I will be turning 1.5 units into 20.2 units, because that would mean that the via finish and via submission would both hit. Moving into the last and final parlay, we have all Mexicans on the card via money line, sitting at plus 5,839 as the odds. Putting a half unit on that one. Win 29.7. We've seen crazier things happen. As Bike Arena said in the chat earlier, I'm going to be very upset if she's right. Hot take. She thinks Irene is the only Mexican that loses. Oh, man. If that happens, I will be very upset. And I'll have to add some tears to my little emoji guy on the screen here with his nice little symbol. But I digress. Those are the picks. Those are the parlays. Man, I'm excited about them. I actually think a handful of those are probably going to hit this week. And I mean, have you looked at Underdog at all?
Honestly, no, I haven't looked yet, my brother. I have not looked. It's been a busy day outside of work and just in the home life, but busy day, busy week. See, I can't even talk, brother. I'm all out of sorts, but I'm looking right now as we speak, as we've been speaking, and you gotta love it, man. I love the app, obviously. Always. I love the app. Shout out Underdog. Always promote them, yeah. But
please sponsor us someday.
For real.
Yeah, there's some good odds. Are there any juicy ones that you're liking here?
Let's see.
The Raul Rosas over 6.5 minutes fight time I really like.
Oh, yeah?
I feel like that's money in the bank. You guys in the chat, I am going to, let's see here.
So they're just kind of the fight lines.
Drew said, Nano, show him a real Mexican toast. Para, arriba, abajo, el centro,
pa dentro. That's right. Oh, that's right. We should do that.
I know arriba, abajo because I worked construction and I was the only white guy on a crew full of Mexican guys that only spoke Spanish, and they would work with the cranes. So I knew, like, I had to know up, down, and stuff like that with the cranes.
Drew's right. Drew's right. We should have did it the correct way. He's right.
I mean, you
He's right.
just say when.
That will be the sign off.
That'll be the sign off. Yeah. So are there any ones that you're really liking here? I really do like the fight time overs, if I'm being honest, and I also kind of liking the Irene Aldana over 57.5 significant strikes.
I like that one too. Obviously, we're under the impression that she's gonna beat Norma, so she's got to put some leather on her. If that's the case,
when she loses, she lands like 70 fucking significant strikes, bro.
True, and she won't get finished. Like she's a durable opponent out there.
Wasn't she the one that was in the fight of the year contender recently against Carl Hossa? Yeah, dude, she landed 145 significant strikes in that fight. And she
even Raul Rosas 20 significant strikes. Like that seems so low. Even if he gets him down and kind of pummels him a little bit, or do they just think he's going to grab onto him and choke him out right away?
Well, in his last fight, he landed 5, I believe, off the top of my head. 3.
Jeez, so it is. I'll just combo, take it down. He landed and
25 total strikes, and only 3 of them were considered significant. And then in the fight before
significant strikes. I see.
That's the thing. And then in the fight before that, he landed 18. In the fight before that, he landed 3. In the fight before that, he landed 3. He's never landed more than 18 significant strikes in a fight in the UFC.
Yeah. I wish they had more of those lines for the other fights, but
the lower fights, I agree.
Yeah, or even like some of the main ones, like it's just kind of like, if you think it's gonna be a finish or not, or knockouts or downs or things like that.
You
fight
can
time.
More picks and get quite a bit of different things, but yeah, for the most part, it is just finishes. And if you click on the actual. They don't have it.
That's what I was saying. Maybe they're not up yet, which is cool,
usually if you click on the actual fighter, you can get like the
some do
over under fantasy clicks. So like
okay,
they usually do a strike differential too. So like you'll see if you click in the app on, maybe it's just not on desktop, because if you click in the app usually on Sean O'Malley's like face, it'll pull up. Let me see if they maybe haven't updated it yet, but it'll usually pull up like a strike differential, and whoever the underdog is, they'll give a plus cushion.
Yeah, it's just the finish, knockouts, fight time, sub, round finish, and then significant strikes is set at 89.5.
Yeah, they don't have it. So usually on the app at the very bottom, like whenever you actually click into the face, at the very bottom underneath all this stuff is where it'll show you what I'm talking about. But it's
and they have them for a few here. I mean, Sugar 89 seems a little high, but that can definitely happen if it ends up going the distance.
Let's see. What does he usually average?
79.
So he did 230 significant strikes against Chito Vera, 25 against Aljo, 84 against Peter, 25 against Pedro.
Yeah.
39 against Ruslan or Raulian. 230 against Chris Matinho. God damn. 86 against Thomas Almeida. I mean,
honestly, I might go the under significant. Oh shit! I might go under significant strikes for Alexa. They don't have it for Valentina, but she scored 84 in her last 5-minute bout against Valentina, and it's set at 79.5. So it's like, I still think she could win, but it's like, is she gonna do the same thing in terms of pace and landing significant strikes? I don't know. 5, within 5 rounds, that's 1 strike per round. That's where I feel like it might even end up being lower. They both might have lower output, or there might be more takedowns or different things.
I'm gonna pick for that fight. I'm gonna pick the under 24.99 minute fight time. What do you think?
So you think someone's?
I think someone's gonna.
You think someone's gonna fit? Yeah.
It's the 3rd time they've fought each other twice. I feel like someone's gonna be gunning for it.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I mean, I just think Alexa's gonna win. It's just tough for me to. Obviously, she's finished Valentina before, so it's not like it's just harder for me to see that again.
It's hard to see Valentina get finished in general.
Yeah, I would probably.
You could do the over on that and still get 0.75x.
True. Yeah, I think I would probably stay away from the finish aspect, maybe, but honestly, the under sounds a little more appealing to me because it's just I don't know if they're going to be as active as they were that last time.
So the under on strikes?
Yeah, they only have it for Valentina, but yeah, under 79.5 significant strikes, right? That's the thing, significant strikes here.
You mean for Grasso? They only have it for Grasso.
Right. Right. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, because like even last fight, she landed 264 or 262 strikes, but only 84 were considered significant. And this is a 79.5 clip. And the first time they fought, she only landed 59 significant strikes. But if you look at what she did against Viviane Araujo, 153. Tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last match is a good one to look at. You know,
It's a good litmus test.
Yeah, good litmus test. I mean, Alexa threw 400 strikes. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and if she is going to win and be dominant, then it's. But to your point, though, I mean, if she ends up putting her out, she's not getting to that 80 mark for sure. If it's in the 4th round, I mean, I shouldn't say for sure. Valentina's is so tough, and they respect each other so much. It's hard to see a higher like rate than what we recently saw. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I definitely agree.
But to your and 25 minutes is a long time, man. I mean, to fight a third time, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of ring time, game planning for them, everything considered. And yeah, and I think I heard some of the pregame stuff, like, or some of the media coverage and build up. Like, Valentina seems like emotional. Like, she's like fired up.
I mean, absolutely. I'm going to stay away from that one on underdogs. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yeah. I reckon we do.
I think I have one. I think I have one cooked up though now.
There we go. Lay it on us. Take us home.
So I got Raul Rosas Jr. the over on fight time 6.5 minutes. I got Irene Aldana the over on significant strikes 57.5. I got Diego Lopez over on finishes hitting at a 1.23x multiplier, and then I got Merab Davalishvili hitting lower than 4.5 takedowns.
I like it.
And that is a 12.3x multiplier. So 1 unit, I'm going to put 1 unit on it for 12.3. It's locked in.
Locked and loaded, baby. Love it.
What are you thinking right now? So the one that you're leaning so far is the under on significant strikes for Alexa.
Yep. I think under. I think
let's go through the fights. So you got the girl fight here. What about Ortega versus Lopez? You feel anything on that one? Do you think someone's live for a finish?
honestly, I'm more leaning the higher. I think it might go the distance just because I know they're both tough dudes.
You can
and
get
Brian's
break
never
even
really
on
been
12.5 over.
Yeah, I think I like the over there.
Hit that. That's solid.
Oh.
That puts you at 3x right now if you get all right. Are you thinking of doing a standard pick or a flex pick? The flex one is where, like, if you get one wrong, you still have a chance at getting money back.
Oh, nah, go big or go home, baby.
Yeah, I feel that. So yeah, you're at 2 right now at a 3x payout. You could add one more and definitely buffer that quite a bit. There's definitely some juicy ones on here.
Damn, you know what? Just because we're in honor of Chiwiwis, I'm gonna go under the 6.5 minute time. So first round finish, baby. First round finish.
That doubles it. So that doubles it from 3x your money to 6x your money right now is what you're sitting at.
Go big or go home, baby. Dogs bark in the backyard, baby.
I mean, we do love that.
Woo!
You love it. You love it. Yeah, that's good. You thinking that's a good place? 3-legger?
Yeah, I want to get Sean in there somehow, but fuck.
Sean, let's see. Let's cook, brother.
Let us cook. It's knockouts. That's not knockdowns, right?
Oh, that's knockouts. So, like, he has to get a knockout. Which, with all due respect, I would say don't do that to yourself.
No, that's too
because
tough.
then if he gets a sub, you fucked yourself, and you've done it for 0.05. Let's go, Oz. Sean KO, third or fourth. So the only reason I'm saying don't bet on the knockout is because right now you get the knockout on underdogs at 1.19 times your money. See? Or sneaky sub. Oz, my fucking guy. Let's go. Can we get this guy an air horn?
I like it, Oz. I like it. And in honor of Oz, maybe I'll take the lower 22.5 minutes then. Because if it's going to be third, fourth round, it's under 20.
You could also do just by finish. Because then if he finishes at any time, that's what I was saying, is like it's 1.19x multiplier for knockout, but it's 1.14x multiplier for by finish. So like you're only sacrificing 0.05x, but you're still getting a multiplier as long as he finishes the fight in any way, whether it's knockout or sub. By the way, do you see this like bruising on my head here? It's because I was trying to use an ink pen to write on my face and do the Sean tattoos.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! You scrubbed the bruise. You scrubbed it off. I
scrubbed it off.
Oh jeez.
It didn't feel great. But
it happens, man.
You gotta commit to the bit.
You got to. Yeah, I think we'll lock that up. I like that. Raul Rosas under 6.5. Diego Lopez over 12.5. Alexa under 79.5 strikes. And then Sugar with the finish, baby.
Love it.
Bringing us home.
And that's 11.4x your money.
Yep. A unit will give me 10.
We'll get you 11.4 units.
11. Yeah, 11. Yep.
I'm going to tell you on that one. Yeah,
Let's do it, baby.
I just subbed the same thing. I'm going to tell you on that one for funsies. Let's see. We sink or we win together, brother. All right, let's do our sign-off shot and call it a night, brother.
Let's do it, man.
I hate to call it now that the numbers are going up, but we got to do it.
I know, man. Hey, it's a good one.
We got a concept that we're doing tomorrow that's causing us to do basically a third episode this week. We won't be doing it live, but if we get some good recording stuff, maybe we'll post some stuff to the YouTube. Either way, it should be great fun. We're doing essentially a UFC fantasy football style snake draft till the end of December 31st. Whoever accumulates the most points on DraftKings is going to win the pot of money. So here we go. Nano, lead us out with the shot.
Let's do it. So appreciate y'all for being here. Like I said, UFC Noche, repping the Mexico gear. But man, in honor of the culture, we'll do our cheers here. Oh, si se puede. I like it. Yep. But thank you, Drewski. Like you said, in true Mexican style here, we'll do a toast. We'll do para arriba, so up, abajo, down, el centro, in the center, and then pa dentro, down the hatch, baby. Salud. Let's go to a good Noche this weekend, Saturday. UFC fights. Make sure you tune in. Oz, great seeing you. Short and sweet, baby, as always. You ended up motivating me to get that last leg in the parlay. So when we hit, I'll be, I'll get some merch, send it your way. Appreciate you, bro.
We'll both shout you out on Twitter, and we'll have to get your address so we can send you some merch, brother.
Damn straight, man. We appreciate y'all for being here. It's awesome. I can't wait. And Canelo, make sure you tune in there. Double back on the Noche for the culture. He's probably going to win as well. So if you can swing it.
Let's call a spade here, folks. Canelo's going to win, and I think Sean's probably going to win too. And so is Alexa. It's just going to be a great, great day for the UFC Noche. Folks, again, you could have been anywhere this night, and you chose to be right here with us. We really, really greatly appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, if you're on anything that allows you to like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. That way you know when we're going live again. Even if you don't use YouTube very often, subscribe on there. Hit the notification button. That way you can watch us on whatever respective site you enjoy watching us or listening to us. I will get this uploaded to the Spotify and the iTunes and all the Apple podcasts in just a moment for all you audio-only listeners, and we really appreciate you as well. Chef kiss that you can't see to you audio-only listeners, but gosh darn it, just know that I still did the finger motions just for you. And last but certainly not least, the one thing we'll say every single episode on this podcast, we really appreciate you. So keep on going. Keep on growing, folks. We will see you next episode.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.